Good morning, everybody. Hey, DeGitman, how's it going? I hope that you're doing well. The fires have picked up where I live, so we're dealing with an increase in the amount of smoke in the air. So if I sound like I'm congested, it's because I am. Yay, I'm so glad this is continuing into the fall. But like shout out to the BC wildfire services because they've been keeping us safe. So that's good. Um, what has been my experience this week? So this week past, it was me and the Warmistress' 10-year wedding anniversary. So we celebrated just by like hanging out and doing stuff. I took a bit of a like week off. Hello, neighborhood inquisitor. How's it going? And Mr. Fish. How is it going? Mr. Fish and I are working on something in the background that I'm hoping that we can sort of start planning out this week. I'm hoping. I think you all are going to like it. Hello, John. How's it going? So my week started off with celebrating my wedding anniversary. I spent the day with my mom the day after because the only thing that I wanted for like any gifts this year was an anniversary band, and I found exactly zero things that I liked in two towns. So um, I think that I'm gonna have to like go online and find something and then go to my favorite local jeweler and see if she can order something in for me. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna have to do this week. Um, Mr. Fish says, like I'm out of 12 with anticipation. That's awesome, Mr. Fish. Hey, Maya, how's it going? So nice to see you in the chat. Inquisitor says, woo, my fiance and my 10-year anniversary is this upcoming October 3rd. Congratulations. It's such a milestone. And I think that you've probably made it through like the most difficult parts of your relationship as well. What else did I do? I didn't really play that many games. On Saturday I had like team practice. So my ITC team, we got together and played a practice game each. I practiced my new list, which like I'm not vibing with, but what can you do? You gotta play it a few times and try to figure it out. Also I feel like the matchup was like kind of a bad one for me. Um, so yeah, been like trying to take away some lessons from that. Hey Katie, how's it going? Um, And then yesterday, I was like struck down with an ocular migraine, which, if you haven't experienced an ocular migraine before, it's very bizarre. And sometimes it leads to an actual migraine, which was the case for me yesterday. So I was kind of laid out in bed for most of the afternoon. But I'm feeling better now. Um, I was actually feeling better like late in the day, so then I stayed up too late because I was like, "Oh, I want to make use of the day." So I did a little like test paint for an upcoming project that I might start. Oh, I think I turned off the autofocus, but I did this leg cuz like maybe I'll be starting a Black Legion army. We'll see. Um Hey, Caffeinated Miniatures, Jared, how's it going? I hope that you're doing well. We're just getting started, so I'm just explaining kind of like how my week went. Um, Maya says Monday is usually a partner's day off, and when there's three of them, yeah, it just keeps you busy. All right, so with that being said, this is our project that we have been working on. I finished that particular layer on the second arm. I didn't quite get finished last time, so we're going to start glazing the next two colors. Doesn't he just look so happy? Maybe I should turn the autofocus back on, actually. Let's see. I'm going to turn the autofocus on. Properties? Oh, autofocus is on. What the heck? Oh, also this camera didn't want to work this morning, so I think it's the universe like telling me that this top-down cam just needs to be replaced. So I'm gonna look into that this week too. And I mean we've had a good run, this camera and I. I think I'm the second owner of this camera. Paul Murphy was the first owner of this camera. So you know she's had 6 years of use, which is quite a long time for a camera, I think. So next color we're going to be doing is model color lime green. Give it a shake. Oh, Maya, don't even worry about it. It's there's only so many hours in the day, right? You got to like prioritize family before everything else. It's been decided I'm doing a Space Marines army. Do it, Maya, do it. Yeah. My I'm the only one on my ITC team that doesn't play Chaos. And so yeah, they were all like, "You should obviously be Black Legion because you're the Warmistress." And I was like, "Hmm." And then I was thinking about it. I was like, "I'm not really feeling my Custodes. I'm not really feeling playing my guard army, and I just don't play my Space Wolves ever." So I was like, "Well, maybe it is time to start like another thing." So I think in the spring, I think I'm gonna start a new project, but we'll see. If I feel better about my orcs, playing my orcs, then we'll do that. We'll just keep on keeping on. Okay. Aw, Maya, we are family. Currently painting some, oh, printing some bruisers. Ooh, which ones did you go with, or is it like a surprise? I'm dying to know. I also need to find somebody to print some. Um, I want some just mecha dogosaurs that I can use as bomb squigs. So I'm gonna have to find somebody to print me some locally. I'll check with my regular guy, see if he's got time, but he has 2 little kids, so I'm not holding my breath. I hate being congested on stream as well. I just like sound funny in my own head right now. Can other people hear it? Upside about orcs was they were mid-tier, so we are basically doing the same thing we were doing a couple months ago. Yeah, we didn't really get hit at all. It was also really interesting to look at some of the what's the word I'm looking for? Like the results of some of the local not local, some of like the tournaments and stuff from around the world, because it did seem like there was a like widespread of different factions that were like 5-0 and 4-1, which was good. It feels good. Also, this weekend was Charity Hammer. So I spent a lot of the weekend watching the games. I donated some money for a good cause. And it's always like fun to watch your friends on stream. Yeah, there were some like really fun games, some fun interactions. I wish I could have caught the end yesterday because Usually the last day is like when all the wacky stuff happens, as they make the push near the end for um basically like trying to beat their goals, which they made $47,000 for Child's Play charity. Like that's amazing. If I had a stream deck with sound effects, I would have a little applause for them because that's incredible. Isn't your regular guy your boss? He hasn't really been printing that much actually. And sometimes I don't want to wait in the mail. So sometimes I get a couple local people to do that for me. Caffeinated Miniatures doing an Oops All Pirates list. Amazing. That's awesome. I can't wait to see how you do it in your style because I love the way you paint, Jared. DeGitman says, I have a slight hunch at what you and the fish are working on in the background. Ooh, the inside info. Katie says, is it tabletop knowledge using that size base for that size model? Huh? I don't get it. This model is a lot bigger than what it is supposed to be standing in for, and I put it on the size base it's supposed to come on. It looked ridiculous, so I put it on a bigger base. I do that a lot in my army for like characters and stuff, but the way I look at it is my army doesn't really have auras. Like Makari has an aura in what I have, like what I'm playing. And really, like the bigger the base, the bigger the model, the easier it is for shooting armies to see me. And the more models close combat armies can get into me. So I'm really at a disadvantage by doing it, but it just looks better, so I'm going to keep doing it. And it's funny too, because when I play against orc players, they're like, "Oh, your army looks so intimidating and cool." I was like, I know. Everything's big. In charge. Um, you may have messaged me while I was gaming with the Gitman. I feel like gaming with the Gitman should be a podcast. Does that not sound like a podcast title? Um, Jared says, "You're awesome, Chan." No, you're awesome, Jared. And we're both Canadian, so we could go back and forth on this forever. Katie says, sorry, that's what I meant, measurement-wise on the table during play. So, if I understand, no, this is not the correct size. You do have to sort of go online and, like, check the sizes. Most of the time you can go to a Games Workshop website and you can see what base comes in the box. Not all of the listings, but like 98% of the listings on the GW website has that information for you. And the general rule that I have is bigger is better for my opponent, so I'm okay with doing that. If I was putting things on smaller bases, with the exception of auras. So with auras, I usually just measure from the center of the base, and then that's fine. But yeah, so if it is my disadvantage and my opponent's advantage for me to put something on a bigger base, I don't think that anybody is going to have an issue with that. Hey, who took my dice? How's it going? All us Canucks is awesome. It's true. You need a collaboration title, Jude? Well, then there you go. Inquisitor says, damn Canadians and your polite banter. See, okay, so I'm just gonna, like, ruin the illusion for everybody. Yes, Canadians are polite with strangers. But as soon as you are friends with a Canadian, it's like they turn into straight savages with one another. So, there you go. I think it's also why we get along really well with Australians. Um, and Maya says, I'm so annoyed you've given me an advantage. Some people don't understand that, and they're like, well, you need to use the right bases. But I'm like, it's better for you. It literally is better for you. It's harder for me to get in through ruins and stuff. It's better for you in every conceivable way except auras, which I get around by just measuring from the middle of the base. We're actually massive buttholes to our buddies. It's true. It's true. Okay. I'm also just feeling so sorry that, like, it seems every time I stream I'm super congested. This particular forest fire season has been, like, a particular ass kicking for me. Um, I just can't, like, I cannot wait for the rains to come. It rained a bit last night, but, like, not enough to make a huge difference. I get all the wildfire, um, like, notifications and stuff, and it was just like, oh, you might see more smoke today. It's like, yay. Yay. I was thinking about doing, like, an introduction to glazing class on my local game store. I think I'm just gonna have to just pull the plug and do it. Because I haven't really found any other way that I personally can, like, blend with a brush. I'm sure I could learn how to do it with an airbrush, but um I'm a little neurospicy, and, like, the noise really gets to me, like compressor and the sound. I don't like it. I don't like it. Let's get caught up with the chat. Um, Mark says this conversation is based. Maya says, you get along with Australians. Is that because they're just straight up savage to start with? Yes. Yes. Um, Forest fire season, that's a vibe. Yeah, it's no longer just like, and it's like, for us, it's the end of spring to, like, the middle of fall. It's forest fire season now. It's ridiculous. Um, it's been so bad all over. Yeah, this year has been particularly bad for sure. Great looking model, by the way. Thank you. Yeah, I this isn't actually one of my boss's older designs. He has newer ones, but I just really love this guy. He looks super intimidating. I love his saw. Like, he just looks so intimidating. I love it. Um, can I come to that class? It's open to everybody. You can come on down. Introduction to glazing class. What do you mean it's not about donuts? Oh, I should totally bring donuts for the class. That would be so funny. Just all glazed donuts. So it could be about donuts. Don't they have that Tim Hortons? Tim Hortons donuts are actually the frickin' worst. They used to be good. Tim Hortons used to be good, and then it was bought out by an American company, and now everything is just, like, oil based, lard based. It's sugar and lard, everything. Like, their coffee, it's this, like, weird, like, oily film on top if you get cream in it, and I'm just like, what the hell is this? The tire store? That's not actually a tire store. Oh, you mean like Canadian Tire? They sell tires there. They just sell literally everything else there too. Okay. Let's work here. Do this side. And just like last time, we're going to try to take the brush off of the mini where we think the highest highlights should be. Because it just deposits a little bit of extra pigment when you take the brush off of the mini. And it's a labor of love to glaze because it takes forever. But it's my favorite way to do skin. I just think that it looks really good. So I want to do if I'm gonna do a new army, it's gonna be Black Legion. However, I don't want to paint it black because I think that looks boring. So I can't really decide between like the Sons of Horus colors or the Luna Wolves colors. So I kind of want to do some combination of like that kind of teal, blue gray color, um, black and white. So the first one I did was like black and white with, so it's white armor, black trim, and like teal accents, which I think does look pretty good. The other idea is to do like maybe teal armor with white trim and black accents. That's the other way that I could do it. So I might take my test mini tonight and try that out and see if I like that better. Because I want something that's going to look striking on the table as well, which is always kind of my jam. Let's get caught up on the chat. Um, America, we make everything worse. I mean, I didn't say it. You said it. I didn't say it. Like English chocolate was good, then an American company bought it and ruined it. It's true. Love this lad. Oh, blushing noise marine. How are you doing? Yeah, I'm having fun with him. I really enjoy painting these characters. Um, I have the weird bruiser. Oh, the odd bruiser? Yeah, I have one, but I broke him, so I'm gonna need to get another one. 90s Batman colors. Is that 90s Batman colors? Wasn't he just like black blue? I'm trying to picture it in my head. Can't see it. I vote option B. Option B might be easier, but will it look as striking on the table? That's the question. My husband and I had a really good conversation about um like perfectionism last night. So we walk before we go to bed every night because we're both crotchety. Um, helps us stay asleep longer. We were having a good conversation about perfectionism. Um, and because there's like we've heard a couple people say that like, oh, I can't play until like my army is perfect or whatever. And like I think that if you think that, you're setting yourself up for failure because perfect is not something that anybody can achieve, you know? Setting yourself goals that are achievable is I think really important. Like us, I'm not saying don't have goals. Like I always have goals that I'm working towards, but perfect is not something that you can ever achieve. You can always do better. There'll always be somebody better than you. Cuz I used to think that too, like back in the day. Like I'm a recovering perfectionist, so I have a really interesting kind of way of looking at stuff. Um Blushing Noise Marine. I'm good. Also very excited about this Black Legion. Aw. It's not gonna happen until probably the spring if I do it. And it'll probably be something that I just sort of slowly work on. Maya says, hear me out, Tanya. Black and Pink Legion. No. I do not want to paint pink. I painted Pink Marines and I did 6 and then I was like, no, that's enough. I don't want to do that anymore. Um Black Legion but neon purple. I don't have any purple stuff anymore. I do paint Slanesh for my husband occasionally though. Um no. No, I don't think I want to do purple. Inquisitor says a teal armor with white trim will make the trim pop more by comparison, while all white armor with the teal trim risks getting drowned out completely. Yeah, the problem right now is the white armor. It's really hard for me to glaze white. White is like it almost always has a different medium, which is why it's so hard to work with. And glazing is like the only way that I've found that I can paint kind of rounded areas. So we could try doing teal on the actual like armor part and then um that might actually fix the problem. We'll see. Woo, free of meetings. Hey Rob, how's it going? Glad you could make it. Mr. Fish says, best advice I can give is the last person who was perfect was crucified, so do with that what you will. He probably wouldn't even have said that he was perfect, to be honest. Um, like, we know that he had a bit of an anger problem when it came to moneylenders, so. Black Legion, but neon purple and gold trim would just look like Emperor's Children. Yep. Another failed convert to the Emperor's Children. Fun fact, Emperor's Children are my least favorite out of all of the Chaos Legions. They just they don't vibe. They just don't vibe. Just fine. They don't need to vibe. Like I read the book Fulgrim and I was like, no, not for me. Also, as like a recovering perfectionist, I'm like, wouldn't I just get triggered all the time playing Emperor's Children? Like, wouldn't that just like not be a good choice? I think the answer is yes. Let's see here. It took me a moment to realize you meant Jesus, not Fulgrim. Oh boy. Oh boy. You wound me. Well, it's not my intention. Rob says, I like the idea of taking inspiration of their original army scheme, just like some people do the pale white for Death Guard and the red for Thousand Sons. Yeah, I like that too. A lot of those, like a lot of those pre-heresy color schemes, I think are really good. Like really, really good. You've perfectly wounded me. Oh no. um, their second least favorite, my least favorite is Iron Warriors. Oh no, see, I read Storm of Iron, so I like Iron Warriors. Um, Daniel, I loved you. Why would you hurt me like this? Um, I'm not gonna fall for it. I'm not doing Emperor's Children. I love that you love Emperor's Children. I love that for you. But yeah. I mean, really, the only two options for me are Black Legion or Thousand Sons because I'm a bookworm and a nerd. Um, but yeah, I think I like Black Legion more. I mean, I don't want to just be dust. I have allergies. Pre-Heresy World Eaters is 10 out of 10 scheme. I actually agree. I think that that scheme is amazing. Do I want to paint it? I don't know. I don't think so. Yeah, the white armor is like sort of killing me inside a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Iron Warriors video they did on Warhammer Plus made me enjoy them a bit more. Um, I highly recommend Storm of Iron if you want kind of like more of a look into them. Also, like the descriptions of the siege warfare happening in that book, just the scale of it, incredible. Love it. All that Thousand Suns trim. Yeah, so one of my teammates plays Thousand Suns. He really doesn't like he's straight up competitive. He does not like painting. So I think I'm gonna like paint something for him, like a character. And then if it kills me inside, then like I'll probably not paint. Like I'll probably not start Chaos Space Marines. But we'll see. Maybe it won't kill me inside. It's been a long time since I've painted Chaos Space Marines and all that trim. Like 10 years? So, yeah. But if I could find a way to do it easier, that'd be ideal, I think. I really liked Thousand Sons in the early pre-heresy novels. Same. I struggle with them more as I read, though. I'll read through. Yeah. I think that's like the interesting part, though, is kind of like watching them. Oops. It's kind of like watching them and their like slow decline, because like I pre-heresy, I love Thousand Sons. Mark says, agree, Tanya. I can't vibe the white and blue look, though it does battle damage up nicely. I love the look of it. I just don't want to paint it. Like, the white armor is rough. Just do black trim. Yeah, maybe. The trim I actually don't think is the hard part. I think it's the armor itself. Right? Because I did like dark gray trim on this guy. Oh, like I've obviously just done this. If I can get it to focus. There we go. Right. So, and I do think that looks really good. Like, don't look too close because I've got texture in the white. I mean, it's not that bad actually. It's not too bad, but so like I love the look of the white armor. I just don't know if I have it in me to take that much time to paint it all. But yeah, black trim is way better than metallic trim. I will just say that. Way better. But yeah, maybe what I'll do is like on this pauldron, this will be like my test marine. Maybe on this like arb, I'll try doing like a teal armor and then white on the trim and see if I like that better. Mr. Fish says, ooh, quick side suggestion for your shorts. New pile-in and consolidate guidelines for 10th edition. Okay. Yeah, I could do that. Mark says, I like that a lot. Don't agree with me. Say it looks bad. Don't do it, Tanya. It looks really bad. Prime white, then don't need to paint the white sections except to touch up. But how do you get depth in it, though? That's the thing. Hey, Kyle, how's it going? Good afternoon. I could prime it white, but then how do I get depth in it? Right? Because if I wash it, then I have to paint white on again. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. But I do like I like the way it looks, and I think it would look really good on the table. It just takes forever. Dan, you're just kicking me while I'm down. Why? What did I say now? What did I say now? Do it, Tanya. It looks really good. No! I would rather prime the trim color because that's the torture step of painting Chaos Space Marines. So I've done it both ways now. The last time that I, like 10 years ago that I did Chaos Space Marines, I painted everything gold and then painted in the other parts, and that was way worse than what I just did. Like, that was soul crushing. Um, so I would rather do that way than the other way, but yeah. Against metallic trim. Yeah, I don't want to do metallic trim. I mean, if you're going white and black. White with black trim? You would prime it black and then paint white on the inside? I find the trim the easy part by far. In this case, yeah, it is. It's annoying because it like takes a while to sort of, map it all out, put the base coat down, but the highlights don't take that long. What I should ask Kyle. Kyle's the master of painting fast. The boss is looking great so far. The skin is really popping. Thank you. I'm really enjoying this guy. He's huge though, Kyle. He's massive. I had to put him on a bigger base than a legal one because he just looked so funny on it. If you want to metallic the trim, you just have to embrace the suck, says I from experience. Yeah, no metallic trim. No, thank you. Um, you're forgiven, Tanya. Thank you. Um, Trying to watch it work is a pain. Glad I've caught most of this. I'm glad that you're here. It's been a pretty good turnout today, actually. It's good to see all of you in the chat. I think I'm okay with leaving the hand like that. I think we have some good depth in the colors there. And we get to go on with one more highlight color after this, so which we're probably not going to get to today. Um, so I think that that's okay. We don't need to do too much more. I'm going to blend this out a little bit though. Do a little bit more, and then I'll move on to the other arm here. But yeah, I like that. I think that's looking good. We still got to do this bright fluorescent yellow on him, but I like the depth of the muscles there. Oh, I might actually do a little bit more back here. Oh no! Blushing Noise Marine. Painting this trim, painting the trim is part of the sacrifice to the dark gods. Well, no wonder it's hard to convert people then. And like, pretty sure Horus like pretty sure Horus was like not about serving the dark gods like that. Okay. Moving on. Maya angrily unpacks my black pink Emperor's Children with metallic trim. You can do whatever you want, lady. You can do whatever you want. I don't gotta do the same thing as you. I'm not gonna make you paint white armor. That's for sure. No, it was massive daddy issues. Okay. How many how many of the Primarchs didn't have daddy issues though? Like maybe Vulcan? I hear the pitter patter of little feet. Hey, buddy. What's going on? Hi. How's it going? It's not time yet, Bubba. You gotta wait a little longer. Yeah. Yeah, you do. You gotta wait a little longer, my man. You wanna say hi to everybody? Say hello. Good boy. What a good boy you are. Hi, Smiley. How's it going? How's it going? Hi. Hi. Okay, buddy. I gotta keep painting. Thank you. So Maya says Horus would have converted way more people if he Ooh, I'm not reading that out. I'm not reading that out. Rob says you like space wolves. That'd be fascinating to have wolves in Thousand Suns too. Yeah, that would be one that I would probably paint like the box art too. I paint white voluntarily on my towel. How does that work out for you, Maya? How does that feel? Blushing Noise Marine says, I painted a white armor Abaddon. It looks pretty sharp, actually. You guys, please stop saying that it looks good. Geargut says, the Chaos Marines I've always painted, I kind of cheated with the trim. I'd prime black and dry brush the trim color, then stipple in the primary armor tones, and use any missed space for wear and tear. Yeah, I just don't really do a lot of weathering and stuff. I've always wanted my armies to look like kind of crisp and clean. Yeah, Vulcan. Vulcan's the only one, you guys. Girgit says, then use washes to fill in the gaps that can occur, though my style is always rather dirty looking. Yeah, it's like the complete opposite of mine. I could try to stipple. Gilliman, Vulcan, Sanguinius, and Dorn. We don't think Dorn has daddy issues? Interesting. Sledge Disciple, and Mark says, Doggo! Yeah. I'll take 20 of them. Ignore the fact that my Tau are packed away untouched for months. And why is that? Is it because you don't want to paint any more white? I won't judge if that's the case. Okay. Back to painting. I think I'm also going to try doing the white, but I think I'm going to try using white ink instead of paint and see if I can actually um see if I can actually um glaze with the white ink and make it look the way I want it to look. That is something that I want to try. Oh, I guess I should paint in the line of sight. That would probably be good. Sorry, everyone. Blushing Knowing Marine says, Dorn definitely has daddy issues. Dorn had anger issues. Yeah, but where did those stem from? Gilliman is walking daddy issues since coming back, right? Such Disciple says, I don't have a style. I tend to like my armies weathered as well, especially tanks. I definitely have a style. Sometimes I feel like I'm super committed to it and maybe like at a fault. Um, Ooh, Maya says, I don't think Farrah's had daddy issues, just a massive headache. Oh boy. Thank you for stopping in, Who Took My Dice. It's been nice having you here. Mr. Fish says, alright, super random theory for Space Wolves in 10th. Russ returns from the warp alive, but with a spark in his eye, like the All-Father Odin riding on a six-legged wolf, and is the first mounted Primarch. I would love that. Although, can we just, like, have a moment of silence for the fact that they haven't made a Jagatai Khan on a bike? Okay. Maya Rose says, Tower mainly packed away because I'm hitting the Chaos Heart in the hopes to go to Gibraltar GT. Oh, the SN Battle Reports one? Whew. The hobby they require is crazy if it's the SN one. Alright. I'm getting distracted. I'm supposed to be painting. Back to the task at hand. I always find it like a little bit difficult to paint underneath these shoulder pauldrons. But that's why I do all the skin and stuff first, just so that if I knock the model above it, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna paint all that anyway. So help me if they put Russ in one of those grab sleighs. No, thank you. No, thank you. Geargut says, I'll be hitting Chaos hard. Ravage Star is to arrive tomorrow. Yeah, my husband backed that, so we are also expecting a giant box of Ravage Star this week as well, which is exciting. Maya says it's done by them, but it's their open one, not their invite one. I thought they still had like the crazy hobby requirements for the open one. Did they relax it a little bit? Hey, Dr. Rhino, how's it going? Your Ravage Star arrived already? Yeah, us Canadians gotta wait a little bit longer because it has to go to like a second fulfillment station in Canada and then it has to go out from there. So we're kind of expecting ours sometime this week, but probably late in the week. Maya says, I want Russ riding a Primaris tank like a grab sleigh, not understanding what they are. No. He needs to have like an epic, like, chaos spawn that looks like a wolf. That's what he needs, because he's been out in the warp too long. Um, I'm not sure. I'll have to check the requirements now. I definitely would, because I think the requirements are insane because they've done videos in the past where they've basically felt like they had to defend their choices. Um, so I would definitely check it out because I know, like, I don't even think I would meet their hobby requirements if I'm going to be completely honest. Geargut says, I'm excited for these boxes, though the fact I'm getting 2 deliveries worries me about just how many models I'll be getting. Kyle, if you got everything, it's like, it's a lot. It's a lot, because we're also getting 2 boxes, and it's a lot. Um, but yeah, I mean, you paid fast. You'll get it done fast. You got this. Take that, Canada. Yep. Yep. But we were talking earlier about how the US ruins everything, so take that, USA. They ruined our donut shop. Um, Geargut says, I got everything and a few extras. How did you get extras if you got everything? Like the stretch goals or something else? Because we just took we just got everything. Mark says everything plus extras, giving it that 110%. Hey, Scorpion, how's it going? I've had to backburner my orcs because I need to get out of Xenos and do a Marine chapter, but I'll be back to Xenos soon. Ooh, which Marines are you doing? That this feels like such a need. I'm interested to know. The only loyalists I have any desire to do are Space Wolves. Straight up. That's it. However, I do like just keeping them as like a hobby project and just being able to paint whatever I want. Not giving much thought about whether I'm going to play with it or not. It's kind of nice. Because I have a lot of like weird old Space Wolf stuff that I love. One of the guys on my team also plays Space Wolves and World Eaters. It's a bit of a melee focused, angry bent running through there. But so I showed him my Dreadnought because you're talking about like how the darker color seems look better, and he like got this excited look on his face. He's like, "That's an old Bjorn," because it's the old boxy Dreadnought that I did on stream. He's so excited. And at some point, we're still gonna do this little boxy guy. Look at his tiny little base. Oh, he's so cute. But we're totally gonna do him on stream at some point. Kyle says 118%. 8 was required. Because it's Dave's stuff, right? Black Templars, I think, but not just black and white. Okay, cool. Dr. Rhino says, if run 100% out of project... Oh, you'd run... What? I'm going to strip my entire Marine collection and then convert them, all of them, to be black dragons. What? Why would you strip them? Just buy more models. Maya says, looking at last year's Open, I think my best level of painting would meet their battle ready standard. Maybe? It's pretty high, right? Like their level of hobby required. Which is cool. Like I think it's cool that they have like they do their own thing. I don't think that they should have to defend themselves because like it's a lot of work to run a tournament, and so the tournament organizers should be able to do whatever they want. But yeah, it's crazy high. But it's unique in that, right? Like people who really only want to play painted to a certain level, like that's the only real event that they can go to. But yeah, last time um I was like looking at the attendance list and I was like, these are all people who are commission painters. Like that was the level of hobby, and I was like, oh dear. Well, forget me ever going there. Um, the best chapter. Rob said, I just ordered some more Space Wolf stuff. Yeah. Kyle says, I've also been working and not sure how I like this design, mixing Howl's Moving Castle and Mortal Engines. Interesting. Their minimum is so high. It's so high, Maya. It's so high. Like, basing is high. Paints, like, their level of highlights required is high. And, like, you have to pre-submit your army for their judging before they let you buy a ticket. It's crazy. I mean, I really admire them for sticking to like their guns about like how they want the hobby to be. Because I'm not gonna lie, like sometimes I put so much effort into my painting and then I go to events and I'm like, half this shit isn't even painted. And I'm like, why have the 10 points if everybody just gets it and like most people aren't putting in the work? Like, that is built into the game for a reason now, so that we don't gatekeep. So that if you don't want to paint, you can still play. But there should be incentives for people who do paint. Okay. We're getting close. We're getting close here. Scorpion says, "Did y'all watch Charity Hammer? So many cool things went on. I watched most of it, um, but I had a migraine yesterday, so I missed the best day, unfortunately. But yeah, I watched a lot of it. I did some donations as well. I never miss it." Rob says, "You've done commission work." Uh, but okay, so I've like painted things for people, but I'm not a commission painter. That's not what I do. Um, what event is that, Mr. Fish? That is the SM Battle Reports No Retreat. Maya says they have a 100-person event that's a tad more lenient than their 24-person invite only. I'm going to try for the 100-person open. Do it. Kyle says, "I had one moment at a small game shop where one guy got best painted as he had put all his unpainted models away after the event during the judging. It may have triggered me a wee bit." Yeah, that's no bueno. I don't like that. You know? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Tanya, you also won a painting contest. I've actually won two. Let's take a moment. So that Tanya can show off her cool thing she won. I've already put like Dyson tokens in it, but you probably won't be able to see it. But I won favorite army with my orcs. I did it. So yeah, I have won some stuff. Um, but I still don't think I'm good enough to get to that like invite only. Um, yeah, that invite only thing. I just don't think it's painting's not consistently good enough. Mark says, "No, actually, I've won two." Hey, okay, but that second one I didn't even really enter. I literally took my models after the game. I'm just gonna use these guys as an example, because I'm working on these guys at the moment. I finished my last game, and then my teammates were like, "Hey, we need to go get lunch right now. Are you coming?" And I was like, "Yes." And I did this with all my models on top of my army case, just like that. And then I left. I didn't stand anything up. I didn't display it. I voted for my favorite armies, and then I left. And yeah, so I didn't even really enter as far as I was concerned. I read that as Kyle won a painting competition. I mean, Kyle wins the painting competition for most models painted ever. Well deserved. Aw, thank you, Mark. Dr. Rhino says, "As you should. You know I don't like orcs, but I love Tanya's orcs." Aw, thank you, Dr. Rhino. Girgit says, "I've also won one. I can paint good when I take my time." I don't know if people know this, but like, Girgits is like a trained fine artist. I've seen him draw stuff in like 15 minutes with a Sharpie, and it's like amazing. So yeah, he's got like hidden skills, but like he said, he's got to take his time, and he's got way too many models, so he can't take his time. Mr. Fish says, we just had uh debacle at an event with someone giving themselves painted points on unfinished models that led to them making top table. That was a fun conversation to have with the shop owner. Wait, you got to give yourself points? Oh, you mean like on the scoring for the 10 points painted? Yeah, that sucks. That sucks. Maya says, me and Kat want to try for the open together so she can build up the confidence to try for the no retreat invite. I mean, her painting's pretty good. Like, she might be able to get that no retreat invite. I bet you if she sent her models in, like pictures of her models in, and asked for feedback, I bet that they would give her feedback and be like, this is what you need to do if you want to bring these up to the standard to get the invite. Geargut says, I've got a master's in fine arts, dang it! Yeah. Rob says, the composition, the unique structure of the army, the artist's stance against orderly unit structure. I love it. I should be an art critic. I always found, like, art critics funny because, like, I find critiquing art really funny. Because it's so subjective and, like, you may not know what the artist's vision actually was. It's why um I don't actually enter painting contests anymore unless Kyle tells me I have to do it as part of, like, affiliate work. Which is how I won that first one. Um so because in the end, like, I like my stuff and I don't care if anybody else likes it. And I also know that, like, I'm committed to my style, and it's a style that some people really hate. Um, and so, what if those people are judging my work, right? You know, I don't paint like the Spanish masters over there. I don't paint in a way that just, like, blows people's minds. Like, I don't paint in a photorealistic way. I paint in my way. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I don't like entering stuff. I paint because I really love to have painted armies. I love playing painted. I played with 2 unpainted units last Saturday and it, like, broke my heart. But it's part of me, like, trying to learn to play competitively. It's like, well, you can at least do your practice games without fully painted armies. Like, I guess. I guess. All right. I think that looks pretty good. So next week we're gonna go on and we're gonna do this last glazing highlight on here. So, and there'll be less to do. So if we get that finished, then we'll also work on, like, shirt and, is there pants? There's not really any pants. So we'll do his shirt as well, and then we'll start um, at least blocking out some of the colors on the armor if we get this done. Depends how much chatting I do. You know, I'm a chatty Cathy. So yeah, that's where we're at. Pretty happy with that. I think the muscles have great definition. He's looking like a total Chad. So I'm in love. Let's get caught up with the chat while I sip on my coffee. Sledge Disciple, art is subjective for sure. Exactly. And you shouldn't feel like you need to enter painting competitions because the only validation you need is the validation from inside of you. Bat Kid, first time joining stream. Is it time to wah? Stream is just about to end, unfortunately, but you can always wah around here. We're not those, like, stick in the mud people who don't enjoy a good wah. Geargut says, then they are wrong and they should feel bad. Geargut, we don't shame people for their opinions. Art is subjective. Mr. Fish says, they turned in scores each game and their excuse was it was up to their opponents if they got the points or not. A big oof moment, and within earshot of the TO who stepped in then. Well, I'm glad that the TO stepped in because that is a poopy attitude to have. So I won't wah because I'll blow out your eardrums. So you missed a wah. Yeah, usually like we start off with a good wah. I don't wah because the microphone doesn't pick it up anyway. But if you catch me at a tournament, I definitely wah really loud, mostly because the competitive players hate it. Um, but I do it because you have to. It doesn't work unless you do it. Oh yeah. So I put a unit of um, knobs into my list. Knobs in a truck with a war boss, and I call the wah. They get in, and then so I pick up like 20 dice to roll, and I think I got like 5 hits, and I was like, well, statistically that's really bad, right? And then so from there I was like, okay, I should get like 1 wound at least. Boom, because they're going into a plague burst crawler. Boom, and I was like, oh, nothing. Well, there, that wall was wasted. So lesson learned. They go into Marines, not into armor. Um, Mr. Fish says uh I've talked about my wall before. Um, Mark says I support the wall. That's because you're cool, Mark. Um, bring out the death metal wall energy. Yes. And blood for the blood god. Yes. If anybody ever like shouted out blood for the blood god at a tournament, I think that I would have to join in because I mean orcs like that. Orcs understand that. Apparently loud enough to be overheard on the LVO stream tables, which is great. Well, if I'm probably staying at home this year, so but I'll watch and I'll listen for next year if you're going. Okay, that's it. That's all that I got for the stream today. I will be doing a Warhammer 40k explained video this week, probably on pile-in and consolidation because it's changed from last edition, changed quite drastically. So expect that on Wednesday. And I have a bunch of games actually. So Wednesday night I have a teaching game of 40k with somebody who's new. That's against World Eaters, so it'll be like a big punch fest in the middle of the table, I'm sure. And then I have my 40k league game on Friday, and I have my no, I have my AOS league game on Friday and my 40k league game on Saturday. So I'm a busy bee this week. Also, tomorrow we're going to be recording Forge the Narrative, so there should be another episode out this weekend. If you need to get in touch with me for any reason, the Patreon Discord is the best way to get in touch with me. You can message me basically anywhere else. However, sometimes it takes me a while to get back to you there. And that's all I really have for you all. I hope that you have a wonderful week. I hope that if you want to play games, you play games. And I hope if you want to paint minis, you get those minis painted. And I just hope that you have a great time. And until next time, everybody, be nice and roll dice. Bye.